Coming up, see the new developments in the teardown of Gulick Hall.
Plus, see all the activities they had to offer at this year's Fall Fest.
All that and more tonight on SCTV3. Hello and welcome to this evening's edition of SCTV3 Weekly News. I'm Liam Riley.
And I'm Connor Rourke. Thank you for tuning in.
We start tonight's episode here on Springfield's campus with a recent update to Gulick Hall. Last November, the school announced Gulick would be closing permanently after the 2024-25 academic year due to over $20 million in deferred maintenance on the building. Now, we're starting to see
The structure of the hall with over 55 years of history. The process started at 8 in the morning earlier this week on Monday. SCTV3's River Mitchell walked down Alden Street to see the recent developments on Gulick Hall.
Last year, Springfield College announced the closure of Gulick Hall following the 2024-2025 academic year, the largest first-year dormitory on campus, which closed due to over $20 million in deferred maintenance. Now, just under a year later, the school has made the first steps in tearing down the building with over 55 years of history.
When you've been around something for so long, there's an attachment to it, right? Even though that building has given us our share of problems. But I am so excited about what's ahead. So since the decision was made, we've been doing a lot of work. And so, removing the furniture and preparing the building and taking care of the plumbing. So all of the work inside the building has been done to prepare it for it to be taken down.
After doing all the inside work, the school removed every single window before they were ready to start tearing Gulick to the ground. This process started on Monday, as students walking by will see the building surrounded by a chain-link fence and signs indicating a closed sidewalk. The demolition started by tearing down a portion of the building that sat right next to the parking lot and lake, then went around to the back of the building where the old basketball court sat, and the entranceway where students entered the hall was quickly gone. The process of tearing down Gulick Hall will be a slow and steady one, something that is important to the safety of the campus community.
It's an old building, right? And it's situated in the middle of other buildings. So you have to think about when you bring a wrecking ball, what that means for debris, right? So it's not necessarily the safest thing to just have things flying in the air, students walking to class or, living right next door to Gulick. So this is actually the safest way to take care of it.
This is the scene of just after 3 days of construction here at Gulick Hall. As you can see behind me, there's a big pile of dirt, and over here you've got a big pile of beams, cinder blocks, lights, everything that was inside the building that has been torn out of it. We have also seen massive piles of dust billowing from when they are tearing the brick and tearing the walling down as well. Now, in terms of what the school wants to utilize this space for, once Gulick is torn down, they do want to use this as a green space for students to hang out. There is a chance that a residence hall comes in the future, but that won't be for another several years.
Well, I think it would be nice to see some kind of project happen within the next 3 to 5 years. I feel like that would be really good for the campus. In terms of how long it would take, I think it would depend on what we're looking to achieve. If there's an upper class building or a traditional double style building, if there's conference space, if there's all different kinds of functional space for students, I think it just depends on what the layout would look like.
The closure of Gulick Hall has also prompted first-year students to now live in International Hall, a building which used to exclusively house sophomores. Now sophomores are forced to reside in Alumni, Abbey, or Lakeside Hall. This has made the living situation a little bit tighter with less space to house students.
So as soon as the decision was made to take Gulick offline, we pivoted really quickly to turn International into the first-year community. And so we started to run the numbers to see how many students would fit between there, Massasoit, and Reed. So certainly we work with admissions to monitor the enrollment numbers and kind of see where we're at as we progress throughout the summer towards the deposit deadline. Certainly trying to make as much space as we can and maximize the space that we already have. It has been a little bit tight at times. Certainly we're doing the best that we can to make sure everybody has a space.
As of now, Gulick is set to be completely torn down on December 1st, as this is the first week of a 10-week process of tearing down one of the most iconic landmarks on the campus of Springfield College. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm River Mitchell.
Second annual bike run hosted by the Angela Santiago Foundation happened this week in Chicopee. SCTV3's Lanai Delgado attended and met with her former co-op worker, Officer Odion, this week.
Inspiration to police all around, The second annual bike run honoring the police officer Angela Santiago, who died 5 years ago in a motorcycle accident, happened this weekend, and the event was nothing but a success. There were about 200 motorcyclists who showed up for the event, and even people who didn't ride motorcycles showed up to show their support. There were also many vendors who were showing their support at the event, as well as a live band. I spoke to Officer Travis to see what his thoughts were on the recent event.
The community comes out to support Angela and her family. They've come out for the past 2 years, which is really good for them.
Officer O'Dear reflected on how important it is to keep the memory of her alive.
It's important to see that her legacy is still being pushed forward and that she's not forgotten. That she's been gone for 5 years now and that her legacy still goes on. And the basketball court is big down there. It's dedicated for her. And she just had that presence in the community and people still support her for it.
With SCTV3, I'm Lanaya Delgado.
This past Sunday night in the Fuller Arts Center, Springfield alumnus Jake Miskin presented his upcoming film, Shattered Ice. A movie about a young hockey player who faces the challenge of his friend and teammate's suicide while preparing for the playoffs and chasing a championship. After the screening, there was a panel including current and past Springfield students and staff. This showing was a series of events taking place all over campus as part of Mental Health Awareness Week.
Yesterday, pre-camp applications were due at 8 in the evening. The application was open to anyone who went to pre-camp during their first year at Springfield. Pre-camp is a great experience for first years to build connections with each other and upperclassmen during a 3-day glamping trip on East Campus before they head to classes. These connections are vital for first years and many hold on to them for all 4 years at Springfield College. The leaders all do their best to assure their campers they always have a friend on campus. Carter White and Al Goucher shared what it means to be a pre-camp leader.
I think being a pre-camp leader means a lot of things, but most importantly, being there for the freshmen and helping them create just great connections at the start of their college career, and just being there for others on campus and for your own campers and all that.
This class is definitely excited to be a part of pre-camp. It's really cool. Every person that I've talked to that went to pre-camp this year has been, I'm applying for leader, which is just so exciting, and I can't wait to read every single one of their applications.
Learn more about pre-camp. Simply search pre-camp on springfield.edu.
The Career Center held its second part of the Graduate Series workshop on Tuesday. This session focused on 2 topics, financial aid and grad-level research methods. It was a smaller group of students, which allowed more one-on-one work from personal advice from the experts. Assistant Director of Research, Mackenzie Dunn, led a discussion about research and scholarly work, pointing to the websites and programs that will give students the best access. After that, 2 members of the Financial Aid Office gave the students a rundown of the graduate school's financial aid process, including how to secure fellowships. The Career Center is offering even more grad school prep for those interested. They're holding virtual workshops every Thursday from now until November 20th to prepare students for their graduate record examinations.
ITS has a planned series of internet upgrades coming that may cause temporary network outages at Springfield College. Students have been getting email updates about planned outages, followed by emails also about the upgrades getting canceled. The school's network is shared with other colleges across the Springfield area, and upgrades shows other schools were unsuccessful. Because of this, ITS has decided to postpone the network updates for the foreseeable future. SCTV3 spoke to Chief Information Officer Tony Moody.
And all the hardware we have right now that run that network is going to be end of life in April of next year. So we're trying to get ahead of that, do that now. And we're taking an opportunity at the same time to really restructure the way that network works, because it was architected back in 2009. And you can just imagine things have changed since then.
Students can contact ITS with any further questions.
The 11th annual Fresh Check Day at Springfield College was held on Tuesday. SCTV3's Liam Riley attended the event to see how the campus community spreads awareness.
The admin green was packed with students, all ready to learn and spread awareness about mental health. Students were tasked with visiting 10 different booths, each station providing a different way to combat mental health issues. Some of the activities that the booths had were writing about the elephant in the room, an issue in a person's life that stands out from the rest, or competing in an obstacle course to work off stress. Volunteers working the booths recognized the importance of Fresh Check Day and shared what the event means to them.
We are a community here at Springfield College, and we are a community that is here for one another when needed. And we're not just another college. We truly care about one another, and we want to make sure that we're thriving as a campus.
Doing physical activity and also just like hang out with your friends. We have a lot of activities here to do, so it kind of gets people like off, like gets their mind off of schoolwork, which I think is really good.
We talk very much about the humanics philosophy and educating the whole person in spirit, mind, and body for leadership and service to others. How much of us really take time to work on that mind, to transcend what we talk about, that Springfield spirit? We're very notorious for taking care of our bodies. We have a high level of physical activity on campus from our clubs and our intramurals and student athlete varsity programs. This is just another way to reinforce the mission of Springfield College so we continue to be our best by bringing our best.
Another station was the check-in, chill-out booth hosted by the Counseling Center. Students met with counseling-trained members of the Springfield College community to check in on them and share any issues in their academic or personal life. Christine Johnston, one of the staff members available to chat with alongside the Counseling Center and Springfield College alum Tom Steen, were able to get in contact with the Jordan Porco Foundation, the group that started the Fresh Check Day program.
He and his wife, Tina, are huge supporters of mental health. They unfortunately lost a child to suicide, and Tom got us connected with an organization called the Jordan Porco Foundation. We are really grateful to Tom and his family for that connection, and we've been doing Fresh Check Day ever since.
If you need to reach out to the Counseling Center at all, it can be found on the first floor of Massasoit Hall or by email, counselingcenter@springfieldcollege.edu. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Liam Riley. The chilly fall weather paid a visit to Alden Street this week, but what does next week have in store? We send it over to Kyle Valentine, Studio B, with our local national weather update. Kyle, what are you seeing?
Thanks, Liam. If you're a fan of warm, sunny weather, this week is for you. Kickstarting the weekend, we will see the sun shining until the clouds roll in on Tuesday and Thursday, with light showers in between on Wednesday. Temperatures will stay within the 70s, getting as high as 79 on Sunday and as low as 43 tomorrow until Thursday, where the temperature will drop off to a high of 60 degrees along with a low of 46. We now turn our attention to national weather news. Hurricane season is starting to show some action after a slow start. Hurricane Imelda strengthened early Tuesday with a maximum sustained winds reaching of at least 74 miles an hour, classifying the storm as a hurricane. Imelda is currently heading east away from the United States coast and towards Bermuda. Not far from Imelda is Hurricane Umberto, which rapidly intensified to a major hurricane over the Atlantic on Saturday, but is not expected to reach land. Umberto reached as high as a Category 5 on Saturday before beginning to weaken. Forecasters say the two storms are unlikely to interact. The Miami-based National Hurricane Center cautioned that rainfall caused from the outer strands of the storms may result in isolated flash and urban flooding. Back to you guys in Studio A.
After the break, we have our weekly Q&A with the chair of the Physician's Assistant Program.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
In this week's Q&A segment, SCTV3's Lanaya Delgado sat down with Megan Bijon, the chair of the Physician Assistant Department at Springfield College. She talked with us about the upcoming White Coat ceremony and gave insight into the PA program as a whole.
So the White Coat ceremony is really a stepping stone for any student in a health profession. Its origins come from medical school, and it is when students who are learning medicine get the short white coat, which really symbolizes that you are a student of medicine. That then progresses to the long white coat once you graduate. Well, Well, we in the Springfield College PA program really tap into the mission of Springfield College around humanics and leadership and service to others. So we have a very strong curriculum and focus a lot on academics, but we also work really hard to help students develop really great interpersonal skills, professionalism. So the faculty are fabulous and really work hard to develop the best PA students that we can bring. We also have excellent pass rates. We know that our students that graduate this program are going to go on to pass the national boards. They're going to be employed within 6 months of graduation, and they're going to go on to really further the career. I mean, healthcare is at a really wild time. I think nobody quite knows where healthcare is the direction that we're going in, especially with, given our current climate as far as the government and the CDC and the NIH. And so I think that it's a really unsettled time for medicine. And as long as we sort of stick to what we know, stick to what we're good at, I think we will put providers out there that are going to continue to serve patients in the community to the best of their ability.
The White Coat ceremony takes place tomorrow afternoon from 3 to 4 in the Fuller Arts Center. The event is also live streamed, and the link to join is on the calendar events page on the Springfield College website.
The WNBA Finals begins with some controversy after players and coaches openly criticized league officials and the WNBA commissioner. It reached a head last week when Nafisha Collier, who is also vice president of the Players Union, was injured in the playoffs. SCTV3's Lanaya Delgado has more.
Right now, we have the worst leadership in the world.
Five-time All-Star Nafisha Collier did not hold back, going scorched earth Tuesday on the WNBA leadership.
Unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games.
Gets it back, but Alyssa Thomas picks her.
The comments come just days after the Minnesota Lynx forward injured her ankle in the playoffs on a controversial play that was not called a foul. Sentiment had been building since last season amid allegations that physical play and poor officiating were leading to injuries across the league. Collier also said during a private conversation with Commissioner Kathy Eaglebert, she asked Eaglebert why the league's young stars, including Angel Reese, Paige Buchers, and Caitlin Clark, are not being paid what they deserve.
Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything.
Gilbert responded Tuesday saying, quote, I'm disheartened by how Nafisha characterized our conversations and league leadership. But even when our perspectives differ, my commitment to players and to this will not waver. The collective bargaining agreement is set to take place by October 31st. With SCTV3, I'm Lanaya Delgado.
Other WNBA players have spoken up since Collier's comments about their own problems with the commissioner.
Last night at midnight, the United States government shut down after failed attempts to extend government funding. SCTV3's Liam Shannon has more on the situation.
Wednesday morning, tens of thousands of federal employees were told to stay home without pay due to the government shutdown that occurred Tuesday night at midnight. Thousands of essential employees, such as military troops and air traffic controllers, will report for duty, also without pay. This shutdown comes after multiple failed attempts in the Senate to extend funding past Tuesday night. Senate Republicans pushed for the clean House-passed bill that extends funding into next month, but Democrats rejected it.
Bottom line is, we need to stop these premiums from going up dramatically. We need to do it now.
President Trump now threatens mass layoffs and federal cuts directed at Democrats.
We'd be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected, and they're Democrats. They're going to be Democrats. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things.
Top Democrat Hakeem Jeffries responded to Trump on CNN.
He will be held back by the courts if he takes this aggressive action, which violates the law.
For now, federal employees are bracing for the impact of the shutdown.
I am the primary breadwinner of my household, so we will be tightening belts.
Americans will continue to receive Social Security and passports, though TSA warns of potential delays. For SCTV3, I'm Liam Shannon.
The last government shutdown happened in 2018 and lasted over a month. The president and other Congress workers will still receive pay.
After the break, Dante Iafredi has you covered with another edition of SCTV3 Sports Extra.
Jason, let's go see your room.
How was it? Is it good?
I tell my son, I love you every single day. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
This is SCTV3 Sports Extra. I'm Dante Iafredi. On Saturday, the men's soccer team fell short to Babson with a final score of 3-1. Babson dominated early, scoring just 8 minutes into the game and adding another goal with about 17 minutes left in the first half. Right before halftime, Gianna Pazakavamba put the Pride on the board with its only goal of the match. In the second half, Babson sealed the win by scoring once more, bringing the game to a close at 3-1. The Pride looks to bounce back and get back in the win column this Saturday when it faces MIT. SCTV3 reporter Caleb Knowles has more on the field.
I'm down here on Brock Affleck Field, where the Babson Beavers defeated the Pride by a score of 3-1. Babson got hot early by adding 2 goals within the first 30 minutes of the game. Springfield will get back into the game at the end of the half with their own strike by first-year forward Gianni Pazakavamba. Coming out in the second half, the Pride picked up momentum offensively, but just couldn't find the back of the net. Babson would get the final score in the last 10 minutes of the game to win the game 3-1. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Caleb Knowles.
The Springfield women's volleyball team swept WPI last Saturday in Blake Arena. The Pride jumped out to an early start with an 11-3 lead over the Engineers. They went on to win the first set 25-14. Springfield started off the second set losing 8-4, but the Pride went on a 7-1 run highlighted by 2 aces from Tori Colosimo. Springfield accumulated 18 kills in the third to end the sweep against the Engineers. The Pride play next at Emerson on Saturday.
I'm here inside Blake Arena where the women's volleyball team swept WPI this past Saturday. Springfield was led by its attack today and had their best hitting performance of the season so far, hitting .365 as a group. Standout player Tori Colosimo contributed 4 aces to the team's total of 12. The Pride advanced their record to 2-0 in NUMAC play and 12-2 overall. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Emma Bynes.
We now take a look at our upcoming athletic schedule, starting with the teams who will be on Alden Street this upcoming weekend. Football hosts Salve Regina for a 12 o'clock kickoff on Stagg Field. The Pride look to get back above 500 as SC is currently 2-2. Field hockey claims Stagg Field right after football is finished. Springfield has dropped its last 5 matchups to the Engineers. And capping off our home slate is women's soccer, welcoming Coast Guard to campus next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. As we move over now to the teams hitting the road for this upcoming week, women's volleyball will commute to Emerson for a late morning matchup on Saturday. Men's soccer will travel to MIT as well as on Saturday. The Pride have not beaten the Engineers since 2019. And as for the women's soccer, they will take on Salve Regina down in Newport for a 1 o'clock matchup on Saturday. And finishing off our away slate is field hockey, taking on Smith next Tuesday at 6 p.m. If you would like more information regarding Springfield athletics, head to springfieldcollegepride.com. SCTV3's featured Athlete of the Week interview is David Gerard of the golf team. The senior recently received all conference honors at the MASCAC Championships for the 3rd consecutive year. SCTV3's Liam Riley sat down with Gerard to learn what goes into the mental aspect of the game.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of our weekly athlete interview. I'm Liam Riley. I'm here with David Gerard. David, how did you get into golf?
So golf is always pretty big in my family. I was actually usually like a soccer guy in high school, and then my senior year I switched up to golf. I would say it was mainly due to like my dad and my cousin, because they were huge into it, so it was always around me. And yeah, I made the switch my senior year and just it stuck all through college.
So I know with golf you guys do a lot of invitationals. What does getting ready for one look like?
I would say just doing the 2 qualifying rounds a week, and then maybe throwing in a little like range session the Friday before we leave. And yeah, just, you know, putting a little bit, doing the short game stuff, and then just going to the range for a little bit and hitting some balls.
Yeah, and then to add on to that, what do you think it takes to golf at a collegiate level?
Definitely you need a strong mental game, I'd say. Not getting too frustrated if you have like one bad round, not letting it affect you too much. And I think the biggest difference for me was going from like the front tees all the way back to the tips for college. Yeah.
How did that help you?
Just helped my distance off the tee. Like I was always kind of a shorter hitter, but as I got a little stronger, I gained some yardage and just helped me be able to have shorter clubs into the greens.
Yeah, that's great. And for my last question, it's a bit of a fun one. If you had to golf anywhere in the world, like a specific course, where would you go, and then who would you want to golf with?
I would say, I guess I'd take my cousin Joe DeZormer because he's like my main partner in all the events we play at home. I'd say like maybe somewhere in Ireland or something, like where it's a links style course or something cool like that. I think the old course would be good in Ireland. That'd be cool to play. But yeah, I'd take my cousin with me.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
That's everything we got for today. Back to you in the studio.
Gerard will be back on the links on Sunday and Monday at the RPI Invitational. Over the summer, Springfield men's lacrosse senior Nick Savastano completed an internship with the Los Angeles Rams. SCTV3 Sam McGilpin spoke with Savastano about his experience.
On a random beautiful weeknight at Springfield College, the men's lacrosse team finds itself preparing for the season on Stagg Field. The practices are methodical, team-oriented, and built with leaders. But who's leading a quick lap around the field before they start? That's Nick Savastano, a senior attackman for the Pride lacrosse team. He's also the social media manager for that same team he plays for, and most recently completed a summer internship with the Los Angeles Rams of the National Football League.
Overall, it wasn't just about the equipment stuff I did or the hands-on stuff. It was definitely more about like what lessons I could take from it, especially like being around like such a, you know, great staff of coaches, high-up staff coaches. Again, Super Bowl under their belt.
The South Salem, New York native was a part of a 5-week internship as an equipment operations intern, stemming from a sport management major that he's close to graduating with in the spring. Savastano got the internship through a Springfield connection, but also a hometown, long-founded relationship. Savastano connected with Brendan Berger a few years ago, who graduated from Springfield in 2008. He's made his way up the ranks and is now the senior equipment director for the Rams, but him and Savastano also went to the same high school, John Jay. The two had been in touch since Savastano's transition to Springfield, and when the opportunity arose, Savastano packed his bags over 2,500 miles to Los Angeles. The team was first stationed at Loyola Marymount University for its training camp, where Savastano had 12-hour workdays, including laundry loops, catching punts, chain gang, and many other equipment activities. After the first 2 weeks, the team flew back to Woodland Hills in LA for its 3 preseason weeks, and Savastano loved his experience there.
It's all about team. Everyone at the Rams facility, every single person from, you know, people running operations to athletic trainers, equipment people, even the chefs cooking food, like everyone was bought in completely, and everyone like almost understood what Sean McVay's message was and just completely bought into the entire system, to the entire team, giving your best effort, and again, like just putting we above me and coming all together for it. So life lessons like that is definitely something I'm going to take away the most out of it.
Division III athletics usually don't have a hired role set out for everything that needs to be done. Savastano stepped up and became the social media manager for its own team a few years back. He's put together impressive graphics, engaging with parents, alumni, and recruits. But with that comes responsibility.
It's been crazy because I'm trying to focus on the game, and then like, one second, like Scott posts like our game day real quick for lacrosse. So definitely, it's been interesting to be around that. You know, you go back into the locker room after a win, and like you want to celebrate, and then you're like, oh wait, shoot, let me get this out really quickly. So I go down on my phone for a second, type in the final score, post that on the social media. Okay, now I can go and celebrate. Yeah. So that's been like a learning experience for me, definitely, where it's like enjoy the moment, but also know like you have responsibilities.
One of Savastano's better traits on the field is speed. He can also use that speed of thinking off the field, and it worked with the Rams.
Our preseason game against the Chargers, like Stetson Bennett goes down with like 1 minute left, crazy drive, like 4th and 15 throws like a 30-yard bomb, and like we go and score with like 3 seconds left. I was a ball boy on the sideline, and like I'm like losing it because like we just won the game, but I'm like, oh shoot, like I gotta go. Like the ref's asking me for a ball right now, like snap out of it. Like, so I think that's definitely like one lesson I took away, where I came back after that Chargers game and I was like, oh shoot, like that social media stuff kind of helped me, because I knew like I gotta like focus for a second, like make sure you know what's going on, like know what to do right now.
While Savastano has priorities off the court for the men's lacrosse team, he also has priorities on the court. With 16 career goals and most notably running out the clock against Babson in a ranked win last year, Savastano is ready to go for his senior year in 2026. With SCTV3, I'm Sam McGill.
Along with still being on the team, Savastano still serves as a social media manager for the Pride. That is all for this week's edition of SCTV3 Sports Extra. Stick around after the break as SCTV3's Caleb Knowles went around Fall Fest to see all that was happening.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride.
Man, I gotta tell you,
Buzz driving
when the leaves
is
change
drunk
color,
driving.
I get really excited. The Campus Activities Board put on its annual Fall Fest this past Friday. The event included an abundance of activities and opportunities for the campus to come together. SCTV3 reporter Caleb Knowles was on the Naismith Green and has more on the story.
Fall Fest is back, and there's no better way to celebrate the leaves changing color and the weather cooling at Springfield College than by gathering with friends on the Naismith Green. Over the years, Fall Fest has become one of the most anticipated events hosted by the Campus Activities Board. CAB has been working hard to kick off the 2025 fall semester by creating opportunities for students to connect and take a break from the everyday stresses of college life. Ava Catafalmo, a sophomore and CAB member who helped organize the event, shared how campus events like these bring people together.
Campus activities are really important because they bring the campus community together. It gives people an opportunity to meet new people, gets them out of their rooms doing something fun, and just builds community in general here at Springfield.
This year's Fall Fest featured a variety of fun and interactive activities, including food trucks, pumpkin carving, axe throwing competitions, and inflatables. Senior Will Kirchhoff was one of the many students who enjoyed the festivities.
I personally think that like the painting and like art is like my favorite because it just gives a sense of relief, and then like just basically like you express like yourself, and then it's just a way to like just paint what like you're feeling at the moment.
Events like Fall Fest offer more than just great grilled cheese sandwiches from local vendors. They create a space for students to unwind, make new connections, and simply enjoy campus life. Fall Fest just wrapped up behind me with a variety of events, including pumpkin painting, axe throwing, and plenty of good food to enjoy. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Caleb Knowles.
Liam, what is your favorite thing about the fall?
Well, Connor, for me, it's just the holidays. You know, with Halloween, love the costumes, love the candy. Then Thanksgiving just has the best food you're going to get out of any holiday. What about you? What's your favorite, Paula?
I really like when the leaves change color. I think it's really beautiful.
I have to agree with you. It is really pretty. That will do it for this week's edition of SCTV3 Weekly News. Thanks for tuning in.
Be sure to check out SCTV3 on all social media platforms and go to SCTV3's YouTube channel to watch all of our archive shows. Make sure to tune in next week, same time,
same place.